Hello and welcome once again to another lesson for recording for the Do-It-Yourself Songwriter series. So anyway, in this video we're gonna start recording, and I have here Logic Pro open. You can use any DAW you want, it's still the same concept. So for now we're gonna go and we're gonna say this little cross right here on the second column, we're gonna press it, and that's gonna open this software instrument tracks, audio instrument tracks, a drummer track, external MIDI, and guitars and bass. Now I have never used this drummer track, but I'm gonna use it right now. I use other plugins for that, and I like to program my own drums. But for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a drummer track, and I'm gonna go with the default rock. Well, there it is, and I have a drum track. Now I like my drums on top, so I'm gonna move it to the top, and there it is there, and let's loop it. The loop buttons, like if you select right here, it'll continue to loop, and this is how you turn it on and off. And here you select how many tracks, where and how many tracks you get to undo. You can stretch it to 1. Over here you have zoom buttons, so if you notice I have 1 and then it goes to 3. Let's make that so that it shows every measure. So there it is. Now we got 1, 2, 3. So right here we have 8 measures, okay? And I'm gonna loop it for that. I can loop it for 4 if I want. Alright, and right here is gonna loop. So we're gonna loop the whole thing. And now over here I already have a keyboard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 7 more tracks with software instruments. Okay, so over here, number of tracks, I'm gonna say 7. I already had 1, so I'm gonna say it for a total of 8. Now I usually use other plugins, but for now I'm gonna stick with the integrated plugins in Logic. And in later videos I'll get fancier with other plugins, and I'll explain what a plugin is if you guys don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna create, and there is 8 tracks. It opened the library for me. I'm gonna close it, and here is where I can pick up my sounds. Now if you go over here, this is your track where you have all your assignments per se. You have your settings, your EQ if you want, your MIDI effects. This is where you plug it, where you pick your instrument, your audio effects, your scents, etc. This is not a Logic class, it's a recording class, so I'll get to that. But for now, let's just record. And I'm gonna load up a bass from the EX24. So I'm gonna load it mono. EX24 is sampler rumpler. So let's electric bass and make sure that I'm in low latency. Okay. Let's record that just for quickness. You can record, you don't have to record this, you can record whatever you want. And here it comes. All right, so I screwed up there. So this is where we go. And I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, Command Z, to undo that track. And I just undid that track. And now let's record. And I'm going to switch. All right, so now I'm gonna double click right. I'm gonna click right here on this area where it's my piano roll, and I'm gonna press Command A, and that's gonna select the all these tracks. So earlier I was saying, learn your keyboard shortcuts. You can also select this by dragging. It takes a lot more time. You can just go Command A, boom, they're all selected. Now we can go ahead and quantize this. I'm gonna quantize to 1/16th note. All right, so I'm just gonna press this Q and it quantizes. So now I'm going to go to the next track, and I already have an electric piano in here. It's okay, let me see if I can. If you double click here, it'll appear. Now this is the default one. That sounds better. All right, so let's close it. And because you close it doesn't mean it's still there. All right. Let's just rehearse this. All right, let's try that. So I like that, but I screwed up at the end. So I want to end this right here. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab my scissor tool. And I'll press my Command key. And cut those notes. It's going to ask me, do I want to keep them? I want to shorten them or I want to split them? I want to split them. So I'm going to go, okay. And then I'm just going to press delete. And it'll sound like this right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and loop just this part. I'll make it interesting. Use this chord. All right, so all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and quantize. You don't have to quantize. A lot of times I don't, but so I'm gonna click right in this area, Command A, and press my Q. See what that sounds like. All right, these ones I'm gonna leave free. They look pretty good, and let's let them breathe, right? So far we have this little track. Now, for those of you that play guitar, you can just plug in your guitar now and go ahead and do some chicken picking. Since I'm too lazy to plug in my guitar, I'm just gonna load one up right here. Command A, quantize. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, remember when I told you that you were gonna be recording and mixing sorta at the same time? This is where we're gonna start. So I want to put this to the left, to one side. Okay, so I'll push the keyboards a little bit. Keep it in the middle. And that's what we're gonna do for this last part. I'm just gonna go. All right, so we picked that. There it is. Command A, quantize. Let's see what that sounds like. All right. So let's say that's the verse, right? So now if we go to here, we can lay down a marker. To lay down markers, we open this window. There we go. Can find them. The things are so small. So I have a marker right here. I'm gonna say plus, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna double click on here, and I'm gonna call it intro. And then I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna say drop a marker, and I'm gonna call it verse 1. There it is. And this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna close this, and I'm gonna select the whole thing, and I'm gonna press my Alt key, and I'm gonna drag without letting go the key, and I'm gonna drag it to track 9, to measure 9, and that copies the whole thing. All right. And there it is. And then over here, we're gonna have like a section B. So I'm gonna open this, add a marker, and call it B section. Close that, and let's see where. Let's go to A minor. Okay. See that little plus that comes out? I want more drums over here. I'll probably just want one. Control C. And then I'm gonna create my loop right here. So when I press record, it goes to, my record is R. I just press R, or you can record right here. But I'm just gonna press R. It's a lot quicker with keyboard shortcuts, okay? I'm gonna go back to my bass. And just for rehearsal purposes, I'm just gonna play it and see. I'll do like a blues kind of thing. I will have more drums. I will need more drums. So, all right, let's go back. And we go. Extend this just in case I need to record more. After all, we double click on that. My piano roll appears. Click here, Control A, and go to the piano. All right, grab this. Let's just let it breathe like that. All right, so if you notice I made a mistake there, and I'm gonna correct it now using right here, look, right here. This is fine. This is fine too. Yeah, it works. So now I'm gonna just call that last part. All right, so now click and drag this whole entire area. All right, and by clicking and dragging this area, I'm gonna press Alt, and I'm gonna drag the whole thing to measure 33, and now I just copied the whole thing. So now I have a kind of like a rhythm section. I'm gonna listen to it a little bit. I'm gonna press return. That returns my this to and okay, that's loud. Okay, so I'm gonna solo this, and I'm gonna add some effects to it. I'm gonna add some mono to stereo. That works for me. Bring it down a little bit more. Okay, the drums need a little more punch, so I'm gonna put I'm gonna open it. They already came compressed, but I'm gonna punch out the makeup. To me, that sounds a little better, at least through my headphones. Let's close that. Maybe bring it down a little bit. And now this one, let's see what this sounds like. Oh yeah, I remember this sample. Let's see if I'm just gonna solo over, and you can just imagine that this is your melody. I mean, I'm assuming all of you are recording something different, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, press record, and let's see what happens. Right there, I'm gonna stop. I'm not here the end. All right, so from there on, I'm gonna put like a Wurlitzer or something like that. A solo of a Wurlitzer. And that'll be right here. The pianos are already loaded, but I'm gonna see if they have a Wurlitzer. That one. Let's close it and record. All right, let's bring it here. I'm gonna bring my scissor tool like right here. I'm gonna cut these last notes out. And I'm gonna go bye-bye. And this one too, bye-bye, by pressing delete. And all right, so let's keep that. The only thing I'm gonna change is this last 4 notes right here, where we go. There, where are they? Right here. I'm gonna grab this. And I'm gonna move them all. Leave them there. Sound like that. All right. So we go back here and we have ourselves a recording. Now we can dress it up if you want. We can go back to the where I start the piano solo, and we could add some strings. Right now, of course, I'm gonna load up some strings that that may or may not sound good. So I'm gonna go for the EX24 again. That one has a very small footprint. And I'm gonna call for some pop strings. Might work. So we start at 41. Hopefully we won't screw up. Skip that, and we're gonna not only add the delay that I always add, but also we're gonna add some reverb. A compressor on the piano. And like that, if I wanted to go ahead and where my solo is started, I could grab here Alt drag all of this to the last measure that I have, and then when the solo is over, the verse comes back again. All right, so let's say that we like all of this, right? So then what we do now is we have our recording. Obviously, we save it, or we should have saved it before. So I'm going to go save as for video. I'm going to save. You have your choices of saving all the instrument files if you're going to for a larger package, but just keep the defaults. Settings are fine. Now it's saved, but the project saved. All right. If we want an MP3 file or a project file, what we need to do now is we're gonna select the whole thing, clicking right here in this area, A, and then I'll make sure that no other parts clicked. Okay. And I'm gonna go File, Bounce, Regions in place, Tracks in place, Other place, Project or Section. So that's what I want. And since I selected everything, the whole project and the section, I'm gonna go like this, and now it's gonna call a window. Do I want it as a WAV file? What kind of format? WAV, 24-bit, 16-bit, what, you know, a lot of people ask you for 16-bit WAV file, so 44.1, that's CD quality. For now, I'm going to check this, and I'm going to go MP3. I'm going to put it at 192. And just now over here, it has write ID3 tags. You go ID3 setting. The song title is for video. You can put Alec. I'll put my name. Track number. You can put all your everything. Your copyright. Let's see. I forget how you do that. It's 2021. Let's see if it accepts that. If you have a code for that song and your URL. So for instance, I'll go www.eddie-g.com. All right, so I'll go okay. And add to iTunes if you want. I'm going to save mine for video, and it's going to go to bounces. I'm going to put it in my desktop. Okay, so there it is, desktop, bounce. And now it's bouncing. And it'll bounce all my effects, my pannings, my automation, that we haven't gotten into that yet. But I promised in this video I would go ahead and here, it's almost done. I promised in this video that I would go ahead and I'm going to save this again and record something so that newbies and everybody can start recording right away. Obviously, there's more to it. I could have added a lot of bongos, percussions to the rhythm. You just get fancier and fancier in your recording, and we will get there. I just wanted to show you what the process is. Now, for instance, let's say that I like this. One more thing, let me cover. Let's say that I like this exact instrumentation that I want, that I have, right? So for now, I'm just going to select everything, and I'm going to delete it. I already saved it, but let's say that this is the instrumentation that I want, and I want to add some audio tracks right here. I can go, give me some audio tracks, because I'm going to have a sax player coming in, and I want 4. Let's make it 8. 8 audio tracks, create. Now there's my audio tracks, right? And let's say that I want, everything is like I want it. I have my scissors here. I have my everything how I want it, every single setting, how I want it. I can go ahead and I go File, Save as Template. Save as Template will, and I'll put Save as for Video Logic X Project Templates, and I'll go say Save. All right, so there it is. Now I'm going to close this project. Close project. I'm not going to save it. And then I'm going to open a new project file, but I'm going to say new from template. And then here are my templates, and I have a bunch of templates, but over here there is I saw it for video. There it is. So I call it up, and look, there is my panning, there is everything just as I left it before. So that's a great thing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and call Finder. I'm gonna go to my desktop and find the file. There it is, and let's listen to it. That's playing on MP3. I'm not sure if you can hear it because of the drivers in the computer, etc. The clavinet's louder than the lead sound. Let's speed up. There's the strings. No dancing. And so basically, that's how you do a recording quickly. And in future recordings, we're gonna get more intricate, and I'll explain little by little more of the sounds. But for those of you that are watching and wanna like start recording in any DAW, you can do the same thing. The same concept applies to Cubases, to live. I'm not sure, but I think you can lay it out like this if you want. But live is more like for loops and stuff, for what I understand. But Sonar, Logic, Pro Tools, Cubases for the iPad, and Aria, and those are the ones I'm familiar with. And it's the same concept. You load up your tracks, you load up your instruments, you load, or if you can do the same thing just with audio tracks, and obviously record your audio. I am more of in the box kind of songwriter. I write my songs like that, and then I sing on top of them, etc. And I would encourage you, if you don't mind, to go to edit-g.com and listen to some of my music, download it, put it in your playlist, share it, help me out here. It's edit-g.com. I'm gonna leave in the description a link to my website. I'm gonna leave links to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, etc. And if you can help out and listen to the music, share it, download it, etc., etc. And one more thing, please pick up your own copy of Recording for the Do-It-Yourself Songwriter at Amazon.com, or download it for Audible. It's available as an audio book also. So remember, Recording for the Do-It-Yourself Songwriter, available at Amazon and Audible. Thank you.